time to talk about the third artifact in our framework discussion, Todd, the increment.
Yeah.
Thanks for getting us zoomed in there.
Let's just get right on it.
Yeah, what's our opening thought here?
Yeah, the increment, a concrete stepping stone towards the product goal. So we have this product goal, this longer term objective for the Scrum team. We have a sprint goal, which is focused on what we're hoping to achieve, our objective for the sprint. This increment, this artifact, is a concrete stepping stone towards our longer term objective, Ryan. Lot to unpack. Let's start doing it.
Yeah, I think first and foremost, when it comes to an increment, has value and is usable. If those two things are not true, then what have we done the entire sprint, right? So has value and is valuable. What's interesting about the increment, it gives us an opportunity to inspect whether or not the things we're doing are valuable. So it's that vehicle for product. It is the product that or pieces of it that we're trying to deliver. So it tells us about value. And usable is kind of interesting as well. Can an end user actually do something valuable with the product? Is it usable to our stakeholders? Two really important questions, right? Is it valuable and is it usable?
Yeah, I like that. So can I expand upon the usable? I think it's a good place to start. So if we expand upon the usable, as you know, we've said a couple times across these videos, Ryan, quality, right? And so there's a great statement in the Scrum Guide that says the moment a product backlog item meets the definition of done, an increment is born. So we're going to talk about the definition of done in the next video, which is a commitment to the increment. That's how we ensure that there's quality, right? It's usable. It's not usable unless we've thought of some type of plan for quality for this, right? Which is what the developers are always thinking of. But the second a product backlog item during a sprint meets the definition of done, an increment is born. And this can happen multiple times throughout sprints, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We can have multiple increments created during a sprint. And what's neat about that is that the increments build on each other, right? So whether it's one increment per sprint, multiple increments per sprint, they're all additive. They all build on each other, which means part of being done is integrated, right? So each increment of product, each new feature, each new PBI, however you're breaking this down, they all add on one another. And there's something important here, Todd, I think we really need to talk about, is that as we build these different increments, these different PBIs get to done and new increments are born, we cannot decrease the quality of our product.
Yeah, I think that's, I am feeling a theme here, Ryan, right? Like Scrum, and nowhere within Scrum should we decrease or de-emphasize quality. Scrum is built purposely with quality, right? And in order to properly inspect the sum of these increments during a sprint review, which we'll talk about in a later video, we need to have it built with quality, right? And so I'm just going to add there, because I said something, sum of all increments is inspected during the sprint review. And that's sum of all increments that have been produced in a sprint. That's something that we inspect in a sprint review, which enables empiricism upon the increment, which the concrete stepping towards the product goal, happens in the sprint review. Right.
Yeah, so I think that's a great way to really think about the increments. We're really glad that Scrum Guide 2020 added in this idea that it's a concrete stepping stone towards the product goal, and that the moment a PBI meets the definition of done, an increment is born. That gives us a lot of clarity around what it means to have an increment, and hopefully that's helped you understand this crucial artifact within the Scrum framework.
Sounds good. All right.
Coming up next, we're going to talk about the quality aspect of the increment, which is the commitment called definition of done. We'll see you there.